So, are we just gonna gloss over the fact that Ye might have just taken out all of planet Earth with the press of a button? Before we get into three body problem, let me know in the comments. What would you have responded back to the aliens? Are you gonna press that button? Me personally, I'm unplugging the machine and pretending I didn't see anything. But last episode, we found out that extraterrestrial life is real in this show, and they, whatever they are most likely coming down to Earth. Ye seemed like a troubled but relatable character, but now we know she is the one who kinda brought this upon everyone. And she is most likely connected with Mike Evans' sketchy self. As Jin makes further progress in this game, we are seeing more overlap to the rest of the show. Someone is watching everything, this girl can either turn invisible or is part of a much larger operation, and I get the feeling that is about to go down. Let's just jump right in, no need to waste any time, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's try and explain episode 3. Oh damn, the title is literally Destroyer of Worlds. No, not that guy. Alright, it actually might be that guy. Right at the beginning of the episode, we get a direct reference to Oppenheimer, as the dead scientist Clarence finds, at a nuclear facility mind you, died the same way Oppenheimer's mistress did, headfirst in a bathtub. But remember, every single detail matters in this show. There's gotta be a reason for this. Now, there is enough to make a connection to Ye and Oppenheimer because their one decision caused a potentially world-ending threat, both having huge moral dilemmas about the whole situation. But you could also make the connection of Oppenheimer's creation of the atomic bomb and then nuclear energy in general, versus the entire environmental and climate change debate the show keeps presenting. But Clarence rightfully points out that Oppenheimer's mistress may have taken her own life because she knew the misery the world was about to face because of the bomb. And this scientist had one of the VR headsets. Maybe there is some glimpse into the future, possibly with the aliens, that he saw and he felt like it was too much to stick around for. One small reference, yet it could tell us so much about the objective and truth of this VR game. Either way, the death tally is up to 32 scientists. The Oxford Five all meet up with each other again to talk about what's going on. The VR game gets brought up and Saul points out that this game is using a direct neural interface that's controlling all sensory inputs and outputs, everything that goes in and out of your brain, which means it's very possible that this device can control and manipulate the user. So maybe it's not just a countdown, maybe the further you make it into this game, the more it controls your thoughts and leads you to offing yourself. But I feel like we were kinda already on that track. They also discussed the objective of the game. Which is more important, saving the little girl or solving the stable era problem? But we will discuss that more later. So Jin has been going overboard with this game and has ran through as many possibilities and endings that she can and thinks she's come up with a theory to present in level 2. Remember the I Ching from last episode? Going through as many possibilities to come up with a predicted outcome? I'm telling you guys, every detail. Jin and Jack pull up to Pope Gregory's castle to make their proposal, and we finally get the answer to why this show is called the Three-Body Problem. So this planet is part of a three-body star system, or in other words, they have 3 surrounding suns. We know Earth revolves around the sun and it has a gravitational pull, and because we rotate, we get an even distribution of the light and heat from the sun. But because this planet has 3, it's being pulled in all directions from each of them. This is why sometimes the planet is burnt, sometimes it's frozen because of no sunlight, and no living thing can survive on it for a long period of time. When it revolves around one sun, that's a stable era. But the second it's pulled away, that's when it becomes chaotic. And just like Copernicus, the man who discovered this in 1543, this theory, even though it's true, was not initially accepted, and Jin is ordered to be burned alive. But before she can be burned, the planet does the work for them and everything is scorched into flames. But since they were right, they survive, and that same lady from before comes down to tell them that they've made it to level 3. Over to Clarence, who has been spying in on Jin and Jack, and he tells Wade about the game. And their engineering department has also found that this headset has a retinal scanner, an oxygen meter, and a brainwave scanner. It's collecting biometric data. And Wade theorizes that this means this game is a recruitment tool, and whoever is collecting this data and sending out these headsets is going after the best and brightest minds in the world. Hence why this game can only be understood by scientists. And remember the Red Guard movement? They went after the brightest minds in China, Ye being one of them who was recruited to work for the government. Back to the game, and Jin and Jack make it to level 3. So they know that you can't predict the motions of 3 bodies in space, or simplified, a mass being pulled by the gravity of 3 other masses. Jack points out that the 3-body problem is famously known for having no solution. You just can't solve this. They try to tell the Emperor of this level this, but 2 other players are already presenting their solution, creating a human computer out of 30 million soldiers. This scene is an example of when the science can be just a little much, at least for me, but all you need to know is that they are wrong and the 3 suns align to completely throw off the gravity as everyone is sucked up into space. But this makes Jin realize the game isn't about solving the 3-body problem because it's impossible. The game is about saving the people. The Count of the West even told her this from the start. This game is about survival, but nothing can survive on this planet. This lady comes back and tells them that they have finally figured out the true purpose of the game. Time to move on to level 4. Alright, now it's time for some real answers. The guy who's been watching all of these games prints out these results and brings it out to, yep, you guessed it, Mike Evans. He has been the one behind all of this, and he says that these 2 recruits are ready for their London summit. But after his worker leaves, he goes back to talking to somebody through an intercom. This dude has been directly communicating with the aliens for who knows how long, and he seems to be teaching them all about humans. Mike Evans and whoever his people are, most likely that strange girl, are doing the bidding of the aliens on Earth from wherever they are in space. The game is their way of seeing who is worthy to join them and become part of this group with the aliens. And speaking of the strange girl, Jin and Jack get their invitations from the organization and are met at a warehouse by her. Apparently, they are the only 2 people in the UK to make it this far in the game. She congratulates them on their success, confirms Jin's theory that saving the people is what matters the most, and says all the answers they are looking for are on level 4. They go back to the wasteland and are met by this girl and the follower. So they are real. All of this is real. These are the aliens. And the game that they are playing is a simulation of what they are going through. 4 light years away, these aliens are living on a planet that is a part of a 3-body star system. They continue to go through chaotic eras, but they will soon go through one in which they can't recover. Whether it's being burned alive, frozen to death, sucked into space, or the planet is ripped in half, they cannot survive here. So they started reaching across space to try and find somewhere habitable for them to live. That's when Ye responded. They sent a fleet of 1,000 ships full of as many of their people as they could fit, so they could come to Earth. And somewhere along the line, they made contact with Mike Evans as well, and this is where he started gathering people to prepare for their arrival. By using their help and designs, he was able to create this technology, the headsets, that can show people their planet. They made the aliens as humans to make it easier to understand. But this group that worships them, hence why they call them Lord, refer to them as the Santi Ren, which translates from Chinese to the 3-body people. The Santi Ren are coming, and they plan to use Earth as their new home. Mike Evans, this strange lady, the top minds that are being recruited, and the others that worship them will likely be the only ones that they let survive with them. But the answers have been there this whole time, just hidden through metaphors. Earlier in the episode, when Jin goes to her boyfriend's parents for dinner, the dad tells a story about when he was in the war. Him and his soldiers were about to die, and they needed the equipment and resources from the other army in order to survive. So he went near their base, pretended to be dead, and when they least expected it, he wiped them out and retrieved all of their resources. Or what about Will at the hospital? He said he had a vision where he talked to the cancer in his body. He said that the cancer said it wasn't inherently evil, it just needed a place to live or it wouldn't survive. That's what the Santi Ren meant by they are pacifist. They aren't evil, they just need a place to live. Their planet is constantly being wiped out and all of their people are dying. They need to find a body, or a planet, that they can survive in. But once they arrive, just like a cancer, they will spread and take over. They will conquer this world. But they have to hit the humans while their guard is down, when they least expect it. Weaken them so it's easier to take over. In this case, start killing their smartest people, one by one. We end the episode with Jack rejecting the idea that the Santi exist and he storms out, but when he gets home, he is murdered by this girl. What this scene also showed us is that she has the capability to interfere with Wi-Fi and cellular data, and it seems like she can make herself invisible to cameras. And all of this is from the technology that they learned how to make from the aliens. If they can access these abilities on a grander scale, that is some very bad news for the rest of the world. I mean, have you seen Leave the World Behind? But now we have figured out the purpose behind these headsets. We've confirmed that aliens, the Santi, are the ones behind it. They've been directly communicating with Mike Evans and possibly Ye Wenjie, and they are on their way to Earth. Exactly when they will arrive is still up in the air, no pun intended, but we know their purpose for coming is to pretty much take over the world. So next episode, we need to see if Jin decides to go to the secret meeting. If she does, we will hopefully see what Mike Evans' little alien cult is really all about. I'm assuming we should be getting some more of his backstory soon and how he's been able to talk to the Santi all this time. Are there any more levels to the game? We still don't exactly know what the dead scientists have been seeing that made them off themselves. Maybe it was just the fact that aliens are coming, but I feel like there's a little more that we are missing. We still don't know what the countdown was counting down to, and yeah, we got the foundation down. Now it's just time to see what's about to happen to Earth as we prepare for what looks like the end of the world. Make sure to like and subscribe to follow the rest of the series with us. Next episode should be coming in the next day or two. So, I'll see y'all soon.